Uh, Let me just double check my audio is coming through A-OK. Yeah, nothing really to say at this point. Um, One of the worst Liverpool teams I've ever seen before in my life. I do have to say the only thing, I do have to give, I guess, a little bit of credit, to this team is I didn't think Sunderland was going to be a easy game. I knew it was going to be difficult. I knew they're a team that's played very, very well this season. They're not your atypical team that's just been newly promoted to the Premier League. Um, and then obviously, at the Stadium of Light, obviously we played at Anfield today, but earlier in the season at the Stadium of Light, Arsenal even picked up a draw against Sunderland. Um, so I say all that to say, I didn't. I'm not shocked by the result. Um, Really, I think that this was a result I saw coming. I really, 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 honestly and truthfully think the manager needs to go at this point. Um, I think I'm past the point of blaming the players, even at this point. It's very clearly a systematic error with Liverpool Football Club at this point. Liverpool have been a team over the past 10 to 15 years who have played very, very well in transition. We don't do that anymore. Um, we have gone from, even comparatively to last season, under Slot's first season, we play a completely different style of football now at this point. I don't understand. Um, Woods said, "Nice rhyming in the title, Lee man." Thanks, Woods. I appreciate it, buddy. You're probably You probably love watching Liverpool nowadays, don't you? You probably lick your lips whenever you see Liverpool playing because it's fucking depressing now at this point. We're about as entertaining to watch now at this point as Manchester United. Some of our fans might not agree with that. I don't really care. It's the truth. We suck to watch. We're embarrassing to watch. Uh, Conwood said, "Yeah, how does it feel? It sucks. It's horrendous, Woods. It's not fun at all. If you must know, it's depressing. I dealt slash dealing with it for 10 years. Yeah, fair, Woods. I know you have. I know you have. Um, Look, on the flip side of things, I don't think this is going to last as long as what's been going on at Manchester United. Manchester United's a whole other can of worms. But we need to sack this fucking manager. This bald fraud. I don't want to say that. I don't want. I retract that statement. I don't want to say that. The guy won us a Premier League. You got to give him some respect, but at a certain point, like there's no pattern of play. It's build possession up, you know, very slowly, and then build possession up very slowly, and allow the other defenders to get set. It's depressing, honestly and truthfully. There's no speed in transition when we win the ball back or anything like that. It's one of the most depressing, embarrassing teams I've ever seen before play for Liverpool. And it comes down to the manager, a large part of it. Um, because like even if you want to talk about at the beginning of the season, there were so many games that Liverpool just won late with late winners and stuff like that. I still felt as though while we weren't playing our best, there was still an element to where we were picking up results due to the fact that there were patterns of play, there was a style of play. There's none of that anymore. It's just sad to watch. And like, here's my whole thing, right? We dropped Salah. Cool. I'm good with dropping Salah. I actually think he deserved to be dropped. But there's been no change, really. And people will, the most annoying part about all of this they'll be like, well, we played well over the weekend against West Ham. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. West Ham just suck. West Ham are one of the worst teams in the Premier League. One of the worst teams in the Premier League. That's not an exaggeration. They're like just marginally above the relegation zone. They're horrible. We should be able to beat West Ham. It should be a lot more comfortable even than the game was. We went into halftime 0-0, scored a goal, and then fortunately they went down to 10 men. We're kind of chasing the game, and we got almost like a lucky goal in towards the end of the game. And pardon me, I'm just getting over being sick, right? I shouldn't even say getting over. I feel like dog shit. And all I wanted was for my team to win. To win against Sunderland. You know? And Sunderland, a bit, like I said, they've been good this season. But all I wanted was the team that won the Premier League last year to beat a newly promoted team from the Championship, and they couldn't do it because they're a bunch of cucks. And Arne Slot needs to get out. Let's look at some other games that happened. There was the Man City game from yesterday against Fulham. That was a real barn burner. And I also think that, like, before I get into this, I also think Mob Boss said, what's good, Limo? Nothing much, buddy. How you doing? I think that's supposed to... Mob Bose or Mob Boss? You'll have to let me know in the chat. Again, Slot dropping Salah. Obviously, I think it was a good decision. He said Arsenal killed it today. Yeah, 2-0 against Brentford. Arsenal are just going to win the league. Plain and simple. It's not going to be anything crazy in the title race this year. Arsenal are just going to run away with it, I think. You know, you look at how Man City almost blew a 3-goal lead against Fulham. They were up 3-0 at halftime. Ended the game 5-4. What an embarrassment. Or maybe no, maybe it was at 3-1. Maybe it was 4-1 just after the half. That's what it was. Man City are not what they used to be. I think Man City, though, Man City to me are a team that I think could be dangerous in the Champions League this season, just because, like, they can score goals. David Priest Orchestra said, "Yo, how's it going, mate? David, good to see you, man. How's everything going?" I wish I could say it's going better, but Liverpool are a joke. Aston Villa won 4-3 against Brighton. Good result for them. Mob said, with a glass half full, how long do you think it will take Isak to get firing? With a glass half full. The problem I have with that, man, is I think just with the way Liverpool are playing and the pattern of play, I don't see it likely that he's going to be able to get firing. David said pretty good, but yeah, Liverpool's a joke. Yeah, I think the way Liverpool play right now, you know, watch how Alexander Isak played when he was at Newcastle. He was very, very dangerous in transition, very dangerous running at players, whether that be with the ball at his feet or running into space. We now what we do is we just try to slowly build up possession into the attacking third, and then Isak stands in the box and look at his goal that he scored against West Ham. Isak can score those goals, but is that where he's most successful? I don't think so. So until there's a change in the style of play, I don't think he'll be firing on all cylinders. I mean, I think he'll score for sure, but I firing like how we want him to be firing and how we would expect it. Yeah, I don't think so. Mob said there was always going to be growing pains going from counterattack to possession style. Yeah, but it's not working. It's at a certain point. You have to you have to go back to what works. Well, we won like last season. We won the league off of playing almost a style of football that was almost like a hybrid of possession based football, but also focusing on counterattack. And I thought that worked. It won us a Premier League. Under Klopp, I think that possession wasn't as important as it was to transition quickly, and we won trophies off of that. Or at the very least, we finished high up in the table. We've abandoned any sort of emphasis on trying to transition quickly in some sort of counterattack. And now all we do is just try to possess the ball in areas where we're not going to be dangerous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It sucks. It's down to the manager. David said, my friend bet on a Liverpool win today. Lucky I didn't follow him. I thought Soboslai at right wing was strange. Yeah, like this is what I was going back though with David is him dropping Salah right before AFCON. I almost dislike it because I'm like, I think a lot of people I've seen, and whether they be in the chat, in the comments of my videos or stuff like that, they'll say, Magnus said, "Soul Arne slot now." I don't know what soul means, but I think you're agreeing with me. Um, yeah, I sold. Oh, my bad. Yeah, David, I think that him not playing Salah and him dropping him right before AFCON, I actually think that this is one of the biggest pansy moves I've seen from Slot yet because it's right before AFCON. You're giving him Spinner Room Jack said, Limo, what's going on, buddy? Um, I think it's something that we're gonna drop him right before AFCON, and we're gonna play it in the media as if like it's due to performances, but really I think he was just trying to rest Salah before Salah has to go to AFCON. I'll be so for real, man. I think that Salah's okay with it because he's about to leave and go to AFCON, and not having two extra games on his legs. I think, um, but yeah. Spinner Rooney Jack said, "You ever make it to Rasta Stocks' channel?" I still follow the guy, but no, he actually hit me up on Twitter a couple months back, and was he asked me to stream with him, but then I guess he mistook me for someone else. Um, Magnus said Zidane or Klopp in. I mean, I would prefer Klopp. I think Zidane would be awesome too. I'd take that as well. But I don't think that Zidane is as likely. I don't think Klopp's as likely either. Believe it or not, I think that the club are not trying to part ways with Slot because I don't think that they have any replacement at this point in the season. Spinnerini Jack said, you were right before the break about Isak coming. I didn't think he would go. Yeah, I like Isak. I think he's a very, very talented player. I just don't think we're playing him correctly. I don't think we're playing that our attack in any way, shape, or form as we should be. And I mean, like, the best way I would describe it is, like, you know, it's not even like Ekatike. Like, we saw Ekatike at the beginning of the season was doing really, really well, and Isak wasn't, and I think that had less to do with the system and things like that, and a lot more to do with, the fact that he hadn't been playing. Spinnerini Jack said, "How much is the buyout? Buyout of Slot to get sacked? I have no idea. I have no clue. It's a really, really good question." Connor Woodsy said, Zidane waiting for after World Cup to take over for Deschamps at France, national team manager. Yeah, I don't. Zidane to Liverpool just doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no connection there. If anything, I'll be entirely honest with you. I actually think it would be more likely for Alonso to leave Madrid after just one season and going to Liverpool than Zidane to take over at Liverpool. Zidane, like, I remember there were always rumors about, and Woods, you'll probably remember this, there was always rumors about Zidane taking over at United. I always thought to myself, I don't understand why he would take over at United. There's no connection between United and Zidane. Spinnerini Jack said Southgate could work. Want to talk about us playing boring football, though, Spinnerini. That might be the most boring manager of all time. I mean, like, it could, like, the thing I will say about that is, like, I would disagree. I don't really want Southgate to be the Liverpool manager, but will he pick up better results than Slot currently is? 100%. Wood said, yeah, I heard that rumor a lot. Spinnerini said Iriola or Glasner. Those have to be, in terms of current Premier League managers, those have to be the top two. I would prefer Iriola because I think he plays a style at Bournemouth that I think is more suitable to what Liverpool have. Whereas Glasner, I think, is a little more defensive-minded. But you never know. I do think Gahey will come to Liverpool at the summer transfer window. I think that he didn't come to Liverpool because they weren't going to sell him without a replacement at Palace. So they were just like, we'll keep him for another, because they were going to sell him for $35 million with or something shit like that, because he only had a year left on his contract. But then he stayed, and the thought process was he's going to finish out the remainder of the season and then leave on a free. And from what I've seen, it seems as though he'll leave on a free to join Liverpool. But also, too, with that, I mean, that's just, maybe another reason Glasner would want to come to Liverpool. That's the only reason I mention it. But with that, too, on top of that, I know that there were rumors about Konate going to Real Madrid. And apparently, though, because Konate's just been terrible this season, apparently the rumors about him going to Madrid aren't as likely anymore. I know, like I said, there's, I'm sure you guys have heard it too, tons of rumors about Ibu going to Real. Those are just done now at this point. from the reports. And I can't say I'm surprised. He's been horrendous this season. Like, so bad it should be a crime. But, yeah, Areola or Glasner, those are my top two for current Premier League managers. Um, like, the problem is, right now, we just have to focus on finishing top four. And unfortunately, and obviously, we have to worry about the FA Cup too. And I'll be real, I was one of the first people that was vocalizing my frustration with Arne Slot, and it came from how he managed the Carabao Cup. That Crystal Palace, Wood said, gonna dip out. Peace, Lee, man. Great stream. Thank you, brother. Talk to you soon, Connor. How he dealt with the Carabao Cup bullshit was a big issue that I had. He basically had us dip out of an entire competition to focus on the Premier League, and now we're on our worst run of form in the Premier League, and I don't know how long. So we dipped out of a competition for no apparent reason. Sacrificed a domestic cup competition just because Arne thought he was being more clever than he actually was. It was bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Yeah, it's a frustrating time to just be a Liverpool fan at this point. I really don't know what the answer is at this point, because I talked about it my last stream. I was supposed to stream on Sunday, but as I mentioned, I've been sick recently. I don't think the results at this point are, whether they improve or they get worse or whatever. I don't think that Liverpool are going to sack the manager. I think we're going to keep the manager. I think we're going to try to improve in some capacity. I hope that he changes his style of play. The only thing that worries me a little bit is that it'll be almost like a Brendan Rodgers situation, to where it will be the manager's underperforming so much that we have to make a change, kind of in the middle of the season. But I do fully believe that Liverpool and Brendan Rodgers parted ways largely because they had Jurgen Klopp, set up and on the horizon. I don't think Liverpool have a manager set up as a potential replacement, but we just can't keep dropping points. I don't think, and again, I don't think this result against Sunderland is the worst result I've ever seen, but it's the performance is bad. The performances are consistently the same week in and week out. They're poor. They lack any sort of real system that's effective. I don't feel as though it's the players. I feel as though it's the manager and the system he's putting out there for the players to play. And, I don't know. I wonder how long it's going to have to continue before Liverpool make changes. He's not going to get sacked behind this result against Sunderland. I don't think it's, had Liverpool been playing better and getting better results, I don't think this would have still been a game that I would have been like, that's going to be a tough one. But then, because we've been so bad, I've seen people talking about how the West Ham fixture, or the West Ham result, was so important and such a big result. I'm like, it's not. Liverpool have been poor. And West Ham are not a good team. Frankly, they're a bad team. They're terrible. So, I don't know. I do think changes will have to be made eventually. I don't think it's coming anytime soon. I wonder where Liverpool will have to finish for it to effectively be a decision to part ways with the manager. Right now, I don't know. Like, I don't. But we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is that concerns me a little bit too. Is players potentially leaving this summer too on the back of this. Um, and who knows who that could be? It could be Kanate. Uh, who's not as surprising. It could be Salah, who Liverpool would obviously be cashing in on. Could be a whole range of different players. It could be Van Dijk, Robertson. Even like a guy like Joe Gomez might be like, you know what, let me go somewhere else. I don't know. I do not know. We had some people in the chat. Looks like they left us though. Yep. Yeah, I really don't even know what else to say about the matter, to be real with you guys. Um, just sucks. Sucks to be a Liverpool fan. It's not fun. I think the manager needs to go. I do think that some of the players need to have a look in the mirror as well. I don't want to give them too much of a pass, but I do think that largely it's the system. When you see a large majority of these players were guys who were on the team that won the Premier League last year, you can question if it's them. I do think Salah is obviously falling off a little bit, but you know. I'm a war tank said, I'm bad, I'm bad. Who's bad? What does that mean? Please let me know what that means, because I don't even know what on earth you're talking about. I'm bad, I'm bad, dot dot, who's bad? I feel like I'm very confused about this. I'm bad. Can you please? You can't like. Is it was that something I was saying? I'm so confused. Please let me know. He's not going to. He's just got to leave the chat after just dropping whatever the fuck that was. I'm bad. I'm bad. Who's bad? What on earth are you talking about? Liverpool's bad, I guess, is what you're saying? You have a video on your channel. A dog eating grass. That was wild. That was something else. All right. We hit 30 minutes. Not looking like we're getting a lot of viewers. That's fine. We'll be back. I'll be back probably at the weekend. I think I'll probably do a stream. Make sure to follow me on all my socials. Link down below in the description. Subscribe to the channel as well, of course. I make daily, weekly content surrounding the Premier League, just football in general. Thank you guys very, very much. See you on the next